Hi, I'm Bob Levine. I'm president of Zistos Corporation, and I'm here to talk a little bit about our newest product, our Through the Wall camera system, one of our newest products. We were contacted by a police department in a large municipal area, a major department in the country, and they were looking for a mechanism, a means to look into a room when there were no other sources of visual intelligence available. In other words, they couldn't look through a window, they couldn't look under a door. There's some unique requirements here. For one thing, they have to be very stealthy. We had to come up with a way where they could, create these holes in the wall and insert these cameras without the luxury of having, days in advance to set the thing up. It had to be going on while the situation was unfolding. And what they did not want to do is alert to the parties in the interior room that they're trying to surveil that they're at work and trying to look at them. So again, stealth is of the utmost importance. So what we did is we came up with some of these tools here. They're somewhat specialized and they're very effective at doing that. Again, dynamically creating a surveillance capability as an event is unfolding. And while there's a hostage taker with a gun to somebody's head, for example. What I'll do next is I'm going to go through how a team might use this tool. The first thing they might do is we also in here have a stud finder. And this has been modified to work silently, so it doesn't beep and give away a position. The first thing they would do is run this over this little mock wall I have here to demonstrate the concept, to find where a void space would be. Once they find the void space, they would then use this tool here. This is a specially designed cutting tool that we've developed that has very, very sharp blades here, very thin, with a drill bit in the center. And this is designed to create this access hole. And it's what you typically would use is this little spray bottle, which you can fill with water, and some folks have said vinegar works a little better, to quiet the cutting process. It acts as a lubricant and just quiets down the squeal of the blades hitting the sheetrock. So this is placed in here and is turned like this to create this opening. What's interesting about this design of this tool is when the plug is cut, this hole is cut, it's held captive in here so it doesn't fall into the wall and make a thud. Once we have that hole cut, we would then grab one of these brackets here. And this acts as a centering jig for the other operation. And again, the idea of doing this is to be very, very quiet. It does take a little bit of practice. It's not terribly hard, but it's not the kind of tool you want to use for the very first time on a real job. And what this bracket is used for is to act as a guide for the drill. There are two bits. The first bit gets plugged into here. This slides into here. And what this bit does is it carves out carves out the gypsum or the plaster to create a conical shaped void space to allow us to make the pinhole in the center. And again, you would be using the same spray bottle to quiet it down and quietly turning this thing and then looking at it and turning it again. We also recommend while you're doing this that, if possible, put on a diversionary audio device, turn on a radio, put on a TV, get something going to create a little background noise to help you mask the sounds of this. It is very quiet, but it does, a little help doesn't hurt. So you chip away the gypsum with this tool here until you see the very center of the paper. You remove the tool, remove this bit, and then you put in this other bit here, which is designed to create the pinhole. And I think it's about 4 millimeters in diameter, maybe 3, I'm not sure. And this goes in next. And this, because it's going in the same jig, will create this pinhole dead center into this other conical void space that we've created in the sheetrock. And that creates our access point. We remove the drill then, and now we're ready for our camera. I've taken the liberty of setting this up with some pre-drilled holes in the hole cut, as you saw, to save some time on the video. Typically, this operation of cutting can take anywhere from 2 to 8 minutes, depending on how quietly and stealthily you proceed. The slower, the quieter it is. It's not the kind of thing that you're going to rush through in 30 seconds and have this stuff set up and be able to maintain the covert nature of the operation. As you can see, I have the camera in place right now, and we have a subject in the corner of the room. And you can see what we can see through this little pinhole that we've created dynamically into the adjacent room through this access hole. This allows us to get some visual intel about what's going on in the room, to assess the situation and come up with the best strategy to mitigate the problem. One of the other features we have with our through-the-wall camera system is the ability to add in a secondary, make a secondary hole for a source of IR illumination. And the system does come with an illuminator, a pinhole illuminator, and another bracket. And basically the way this would work is you would repeat the process. You'd put this other jig in place here on the wall, use the drills again to create another pinhole, but instead of inserting a camera, you're going to insert this pinhole IR illuminator. The illuminator outputs light which is invisible to the human eye, and I think it's 940 nanometers, and it can light up the room. It's not going to light up a gymnasium. It'll give you about 15 to 20 feet of light to work with, and enough to make an assessment as to what's going on if you're in pitch darkness. Okay, what we have here is we're looking at in the dark with the IR illuminator in place at the subject through the pinhole lens. To give you an idea what you can see. Now, she's fairly close. You can see we light up the area reasonably well, and to the naked eye, it's absolutely invisible. You don't see anything but complete darkness. So it's another good tool that you can apply in the appropriate circumstance to help you see what you need to see. This tool is not a tool that is appropriate for every scenario. It has its place. I often say there isn't a single Swiss Army knife for all tactical surveillance applications. This is a tool that has value in certain circumstances, and it can provide you with visual intelligence when there's no other means available to see what you need to see.